beautiful people of the internet, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another Heartopia video. Today I wanted to make a video on my daily routine and everything that I do if I have like all the time in the world. Just gonna make a little disclaimer and say that this is a comprehensive list. This is like everything you can do in the game on a daily basis. It doesn't mean that every day you have to do this. So because of that, I am going to have a star rating system. You'll see what every little tip that I give. 1 star basically means that it's low priority. Basically, like if you do have all the time, definitely get to it. But if you don't stress it. 2 stars means that it is definitely helpful for you to progress in the game with it, but it's not a must do. Again, if you don't have the time, don't sweat that one the most. Just prioritize those over the 1 stars. And 3 stars means that this is basically a non-negotiable. Like, you are really losing out if you don't do these things every day. I also made this list in the order of everything that I do when I log in. And I do this first thing when I wake up. I make sure that all of these things are conquered, and I do everything else that you can do in the game after I do these things. And I do it in this order because I feel as though this is the most efficient way to tackle everything without wasting any time. The first thing I do when I log on is accept all of these daily quests. If you're not doing this, you are basically just giving out free labor, in my opinion. So I just make sure those are accepted. It doesn't mean that I start them right away. I just want them to be counting towards something. After that, I just really quickly check the weather app right here, and I want to see if there are any upcoming events or if today's events are something that Doris will be here for. So Doris comes on rainy days, snowy days, meteor showers, and rainbows. So she will be here tomorrow. Today is actually Friday, so she will be here tomorrow, and she will be here Monday and Wednesday. So I don't have to worry about it right now, I don't think. I'll also just want to take a quick peek at the events, just make sure there's nothing new going on. And of course, I want to do this daily sign in. So now that that's taken care of, I can just glance at this one too, because it has the little red dot, so I know I have something to collect. So I'll collect these two. And also, I just kind of glance at these since this is a daily kind of quest. I just want to know what they generally want me to do. Doesn't mean I am like super worried about it yet, but I will be later. And then lastly, I just want to come over here and check my mailbox. There is nothing new, but if there were, then I would open it. After I do all of that, I just come over here to my crops. I do leave lettuce growing overnight because it takes 8 hours, so it makes the most sense to me. But when I log back on and I do my daily routine, I usually like to put down potatoes, sometimes tomatoes if I know I'm gonna be really quick. I just basically want to do another harvest before I log off, and I do the crop that's most realistic for me to kind of collect before I go and live my normal life for a while. Now that that's done, I am going to tend to my very needy dog, Dorian, who has finally learned to seek treasure, so that's really good. But I just make sure that both of my pets are fed, which actually he's full, which like never happens. But I also like to train them and pet them, do whatever basically I have available to do for them. Honestly, this is one of my least favorite things to do in the game. I don't know why we don't have a timer for this or any like indication of how long we have left, and it feels like it drags on for so long. Even though I know it's just like a minute, it feels like forever. But I just do this early on because I know I'm not gonna want to do it later. Basically do the thing I want to do the least first. Okay, now that the pets are all good, the crops are all good, it is time to venture out. So all I'm gonna do right now is just 1 rotation of this whole neighborhood circle. At this point, I might take a peek at what I have to do with my resident request, and actually I might go back to my house if I have to use my fertilizer. I should have checked that before I left the premise, but it's okay because I didn't go too far. But this just gives me a general idea of what I have to do and what I'm looking for. I know I'm looking for birds. So if I see any, I am gonna go bird watching. I also see that I have to get mushrooms and I need to fish, so I am going to do that as well. But the other big reason I do like to drive around town is to look for the roaming oak and the fluorite. I've had a lot of people ask where the cat on the roof. I've heard a lot of people complaining about that as well. But as I was saying, I've heard a lot of people say they don't know where the roaming oak or the fluorite spawn, and they just spawn in front of somebody's house, not necessarily the same house, but sometimes it does. It's literally just gonna be in their front yard. Apparently I already missed the fluorite the first time around because it was right next to my house. I don't know about the roaming oak though. I didn't see it. There we go. I think I was distracted by Albert. Fishing, yeah. And also, there's not a house right here. There's no one in this slot right now. But anyways, that's just where they spawn, just literally in the front yard in front of someone's house. So now that I'm done with that, my whole circle of the neighborhood, I'm actually going to go into town and I'm going to do a few different things. The main thing is I am going to close out all of these requests, which today that was the only thing that I had to go out and do. The only person I had to go talk to. I also like to just look around really quickly and make sure that no one has a rumor. So a rumor is like another side quest, and it'll have, I think it's just a check mark by their face. So it looks like everyone's good right now. No one has anything that they need, no quests to do. So I'm gonna move on to buying all the stuff from my vendors and just doing a little shop run. So I always like to go to Massimo and I'll just do a top up on my ingredients. I do buy the full stock of coffee beans and milk every single day. After that, I click on the remaining items and I look at how many I have in my backpack. If it's less than like 50 or sometimes less than 100, depending on what it is, I will buy more, especially if it is on sale, because he rotates what's on sale every day and it's better to buy it for cheaper. But because I don't really have anything that I cook using most of these ingredients, I am not worried about it. Additionally, if I recently upgraded my hobby, I'll just come down here and buy the new recipes. But honestly, I usually don't even give myself time for that because I'm so excited and I immediately buy it as soon as I level up. But that's all for Massimo. I also go to Blanche and make sure I have about 50 of every single seed. I never want to run out of any of these. The next thing I do is go to the center and I come to the pet store over here. This cat is so cute. Oh my gosh. I just talked to Miss Joanne and I just want to top up on my cat food and dog food. And of course, I'm just gonna take a little peek at some of the items we have. After that, I go upstairs right above the pet store and I submit my bird info cards to Bailey. She gives you just a tiny bit of rewards for that, but I like having a reason to get rid of them. Next, I come over to the furniture store and I always look at what's right here, which this is absolutely amazing and I'm 100% gonna get this, but I don't always get this. It really depends if it's a blueprint or not, because this is one you have to use wishing stars for and I try not to use them unless it's something I really want. However, blueprints, it's a blueprint, I'm gonna get it because I like being able to craft whatever I want. I've also unlocked this one over here. I'm just gonna buy it for my collection because it's not too expensive. And then we have this one over here I'll do the same thing for. But I'm not really the type to buy out everything from the furniture store because next I go to the clothing store and I usually want a lot of things from over here. And what I do here is I don't buy everything I want. I get an idea of how much money I need to spend. So I'll look through every category and be like, oh, I really want this. How much do I need to save? This doesn't really apply for wishing stars, but say this, like I really wanted to get this bow and I do because that is so freaking cute. This whole outfit is so cute. Then I'm gonna say, oh, can I afford this? which this one I can, yeah. But if I wanted some shoes as well, like say I wanted all of these, like this in every single color, then I would have to consider that. I would have to consider maybe all these socks. I'm just here to get an idea and say this is how much I need to make today. But honestly, I have been making a good bit of money, so I am going to say screw it. I really want this outfit and I'm gonna change into it right now because I cannot resist. Okay, there we go. OTD. Super cute. All right, I think I'm done in this main section. So the last shop I'm gonna check is Kachang's, because if there's one thing I do not play about in this game is my puzzles. I buy the puzzle every single day. It is almost always a different one. Oh, and I'm so sad I can't buy the one with the wishing stars, but that's okay. We'll get it eventually. So that is my cycle of all of my purchasing for the day. After this, I go back home. I need to sit with my thoughts of how much gold I just spent, which today wasn't that bad. I'm not gonna be bitter about it. But all jokes aside, at home, I immediately upgrade my DG member level. So I'm now level 18. I'm at the point that is not guaranteed you'll be able to upgrade every day. So I'm glad that I did today. I also like to go over here and expand my plot if I want to. However, I do not care right now. And it's not super important to me that I focus on that. Sometimes I like to come over here and look at my evaluation too and submit if I've made any changes or if I want them to reevaluate. And also, now that I'm home, I do my puzzle. So there we go. Super easy. I just make sure that's collected and that's it. That's really all I came home for. But what I do from here is actually run my animal feeding route. So I'll zoom out and I'll show you guys what the usual route I take is. Also included with that is truffle collection. So if you don't know, truffles are a type of mushroom and it's super valuable because the recipes that you can make with it are super profitable. Even just the truffles alone are super profitable. So those are only found on this island over here. So yeah, that is a part of my route. Also, if it just so happens that one of my hobbies is super close to being upgraded, then I will focus on that while I'm out. But it doesn't seem like I am very close to any of them. So I'm just gonna do my animals and not stress. Because of where my plot is located today, I'm just doing my truffles first. There's usually not a ton out here, but you can always find, I think it's like three actual things to forage. So here's one. It just looks like a little mud pile and you get, I think, 3 for every single one of them. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna go over here and feed my deer, and there they are. Additionally, I know a lot of people are like very concerned just about feeding them, but if I see any of the creatures while I'm out, I try to pet them or play with them, and half the time they're, I don't know, mad at me or think I'm not good enough and they don't want to play with me, but I still try anyways. Oh yay, I found one of the pandas as well. Let's see if I can get him. I feel like it's gonna be, yeah, it's a no from him. Okay, but I'm just gonna finish feeding all of these guys real quick. Now we'll get back to you guys when I'm done. All right, now that I'm done feeding all of the animals, I'm just gonna come into my house and I'm going to go straight to my crafting bench. I have a few things because I want to craft everything, of course. I have a few things that I'm waiting for some roaming oak or some fluorite on. So if I were able to craft anything new, I would do that. But it looks like I still don't have anything available. After that, I cook anything that I want to cook, which for me mostly is gonna be these lattes. A lot of people say coffee. Lattes are actually more profitable, so I do a bunch of these. This takes me a pretty long time to do. So I just lock in, put a video on in the background, and get to cooking. Okay, now that all of my lattes are done, I should have about 25, yeah, considering recording how much coffee I bought. I just also like to glance at everything else. Yeah, if I have this available, I usually make a lot of this as well. Any grilled mushroom that's not just the overall grilled mushroom, or actually the pies, I like to do those as well. And if I have any specific jams or sauces, not the mixed jams. I do not like doing the mixed jams, but if I have any of the ones that I just said available, then I'll make all of those also. So yeah, cooking takes a little bit, but this is my hyperfixation right now in the game. This is like the only thing I really want to level up. Well, this and gardening, so this is just what I focus on most days. But finally, once I'm done with that, I will go over to Albert and sell anything that I've collected throughout the day. Because all these final things, these are kind of my closeout task. Like once I go home and I start crafting and I start cooking, that basically means I am all done. I just let myself collect whatever I need to collect and just basically do whatever it is I want to do in game all day long. But I make sure that every day I am selling whatever it is that I don't want. And of course, I'm collecting any rewards that came up while I was doing all of that. Also, I'm going to play a little bit more, so this isn't my full closeout shift. But if I were to be ending the day, I would come in here and put down repair kits until all of my tools are fully repaired, because I just like to start my next day with a fresh set of tools. And the final thing I do is just put myself to bed, which sounds kind of useless, but you will wake up with full energy if you do that. So all of these things just set me up for a perfect next day. But yeah, as I said, that's everything. That's everything I do on a day-to-day basis. And if I have any extra time, I will then work on my hobbies, work on my collections, just do general random messing around things in the game. But this is like the grind that keeps me moving forward, even when I don't have a ton of time. Yes, an hour sounds like a lot, but it's not too bad if this is your main focus and this is what you really want to work on a day-to-day basis. And as I said, you can always shorten this to about 10-15 minutes if you're just doing the complete bare necessities. It just takes about an hour to do all of the comprehensive things that you can do on a day-to-day basis. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and if you're feeling generous, you can even subscribe. I do hope to see you guys all in the next video, but if not, bye bye.